Let's do a quick recap of what we covered last week. So recall that we tested a moderation that contained one categorical variable and one continuous variable and their interactive effects on a DV. And so recall that we tested the relationship between publications and salary, and we predicted that that would vary across departments. So this is a case where we have an effect that is conditional on or moderated by department. So we could use different terms to talk about moderation. We could use the term conditional effect, multiplicative effect. All those are appropriate ways to speak about moderation. Another very broad principle to always keep in mind is that moderation does not care about differences in means across groups. That is a main effect, and in a main effect we're simply interested in looking at mean differences. However, with moderation we're interested in looking at slope differences. So we want to find a difference in slopes across groups, simple slopes to be exact, because remember, a simple slope is the slope between an x and a y inside of a category that we're looking at. So inside of a department, inside gender, what does that slope look like? So keep that in mind as we're moving forward, that a main effect we're testing a difference in means, but for a moderation we care about the difference in slopes. This week we have another moderation, but we are going to be using two continuous predictors rather than one continuous and one categorical as we did last week. Now I just want to insert a quick note here, and that is that if you have a moderation between two categorical predictors, then you would use an ANOVA. So let's say you have a 2 by 2 or a 2 by 3 or a 3 by 3. In all those cases, rather than creating dummy codes and dealing with all of that, you would simply use the ANOVA, and that will give you the exact same result as if you did regression and created all those dummy codes and then tried to interpret the output, which I have never tried to do, so I don't recommend it. Okay, so regression is best used for continuous predictors or a mixture of continuous and categorical predictors, but it's typically not the best for a mixture of categorical predictors only. So that's good to keep in mind moving forward. For this example, I will be pulling out the data set in this week's folder titled Endurance Study, and I'll be walking through the steps in SPSS to analyzing that data.